Welcome to SETHTRA Files. There's a part of you that never grew up. Not the part that laughs or dreams, but the one that still hurts. The one that remembers what it felt like to be unseen, unheard, or unloved and built your entire life around never feeling that pain again. You think you've outgrown that child. But the truth is, you became them in disguise. You carry their wounds in your choices, their fears in your love, their shame in your silence. This is SETHTRA Files, where every story hides a human truth, and every truth uncovers the person you were before you learned to hide. The inner child is not a metaphor, it's a living memory, an emotional blueprint imprinted on your nervous system before you could even speak. Every disappointment, every rejection, every unmet need etched instructions into your subconscious. How to behave, what to fear, when to hide, and who to trust. And now, as an adult, you are following those same instructions without even realizing it. You date people who feel familiar, even if familiar means unsafe. You overachieve because you still hear the echo of someone saying, "You'll never be enough." You avoid conflict because silence once kept you alive. You apologize when you're angry, and you freeze when you should fight, not because you choose to, but because the child inside you does. That child never stopped trying to protect you. But over time, that protection has turned into imprisonment. We like to believe we're logical beings, that we make decisions based on reason. But logic is just a thin layer of ice floating on an ocean of emotion. Underneath every adult decision lies a child's memory, a moment when you felt small, helpless, or unworthy. And when that memory gets triggered, you stop being the adult. You become the child again. That's why you shut down when criticized. Why you chase approval that never satisfies. Why you pick partners who repeat your past. You're not broken, you're loyal. You are loyal to the version of you that survived. But survival is not the same as peace. The inner child doesn't want revenge on the world. It wants revenge on you, the adult who abandoned it. The one who silenced it for the sake of being normal, who buried its pain under productivity, who pretended everything was fine just to be accepted. So the child rebels. Not with tantrums, but with patterns. It sabotages your relationships to prove love is unsafe. It procrastinates to remind you that pressure once felt like unbearable pain. It creates drama when life gets too calm because calm once meant something bad was just around the corner. The child doesn't want chaos, it just wants to be heard. But since you never listen, it speaks through suffering. The revenge of the inner child isn't loud, it's subtle. It hides behind self-sabotage, perfectionism, and overthinking. It appears every time you say, "I don't know why I did that," but you do know it's just not your adult self making that choice. It's the child you left behind trying to show you where it hurts. And it will keep showing you over and over until you finally turn around and look. Because healing doesn't happen through control, it happens through reunion. You can't heal what you continue to disown. So how do you face a child you forgot even existed? You don't lecture it, you listen. You sit quietly and ask yourself, when did I first feel this pain? What did I need back then that I never received? What would I say to that version of me if they were sitting right here, right now? And then you listen again, not with judgment, but with compassion. You might feel foolish at first, talking to your own memories. But that's not foolishness. That's reprinting. That's the moment your past finally begins to exhale. The truth is, your adult life is often just your childhood repeated with better vocabulary and bigger consequences. Until you heal the root, you'll keep watering the same pain in different soil. You might call it bad luck. You might call it karma. But it's really just memory a child steering a grown-up body toward familiar suffering. That's why some people repeat heartbreaks that feel like déjà vu. Why others can't relax even when they've made it. Why joy feels foreign and peace feels suspicious. Because when your nervous system is trained by trauma, calm feels unsafe. Love feels dangerous, and happiness feels temporary. This isn't a failure on your part, it's conditioning. And the good news is, conditioning can be rewired. Healing doesn't mean erasing the child, it means bringing them home. It means saying, I see you, I understand why you did what you did. You kept me alive. It means replacing shame with gratitude and replacing fear with truth. The moment you stop treating your inner child as a problem to fix and start treating them as a person to love, your adult self finally gets to grow up. Because maturity isn't about age, it's about integration. It's the day your past stops controlling your present. You'll know healing has begun when the same trigger no longer leads to the same reaction. When anger can turn into understanding. When loneliness becomes peaceful solitude. When your old pain becomes your new purpose. And most importantly, when you can look back at the story that once broke you and thank it for shaping the person you've become. Because your inner child doesn't want revenge anymore. They just wanted you to remember them. To hold them, forgive them, and finally let them rest. This is SETHTRA Files, where silence speaks, and every reflection is a return to the self. If this story touched something inside you, subscribe. Not just to follow, but to awaken. Because the child within you is not gone. They're just waiting for you to come home.